What up, friends, and welcome back to the Ricardo Report. I'm Chad Ricardo. Joining me today on set, I got my man Josh E. Laurie, my main man Evan Brooks, and the Charlemagne of the God of the Ricardo Report, Mr. T4. So you like that right there?
I like that. I like that.
Coming up a little bit later, we got some of the special members of the Wilson Tigers track team. We've got Coach Tia Clemens, Dominic Hogans, Isaac Frumpkin, and Quinn Wright. Sierra Breeze will be joining us in a little bit as well. But, fellas, we got an all-male panel right here. We like to talk basketball, and it's NBA Finals time right now.
NBA.
At the time of taping, the Golden State Warriors are up by 2-0. By the time this airs, that won't be the case. But here's what I want to know from you all. Thus far, what are your impressions on the series, and how do you think this is going to turn out?
LeBron's going to lose.
I mean,
look at that.
He's going to lose.
This
It's
is why
going
you're my
down.
best friend,
It's going
T4.
down.
it's clear the Cavaliers' defense has been an issue for them all season long, and it's only getting exacerbated here. Obviously, they're trying to chase the three-point line because we all know about how dangerous Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are, but that's just letting Kevin Durant run to the rim, and he's a 7-footer who's got guard handles. He's taking it to the hole every time, and it's getting just horrifying.
Now listen, here's the deal. You're not right very often, but you did say before this series started, you said that the Cavs defense would end up being an issue. Not sure that that's a really bright thing, seeing as how great the Golden State offense is, but you did say it.
The Celtics were getting open shots. They just don't have the shooters to hit them. Otherwise, they might have been in the finals.
Okay. Yeah.
This series is over. It's over.
Okay.
I mean, I hope the Cavs get swept, actually, but I
So
think
do
I think it might go 6 just to be generous. But Klay Thompson is back. I think
To
he
be
had
fair,
a great game last night.
I feel I saw the game last night, and I feel as though LeBron is not here yet.
Okay.
It hasn't dawned on him yet.
Right.
Are you sure? I mean, he had went out and had a triple-double. He knows the moment is right now to perform.
But he won that one LeBron from last year. He won that with heart.
He's
He won
older.
no heart.
He's old. You can't say there's no heart
He's tired,
with his
Josh. He is
performance.
gassed out there.
He's
He's
an older
gassed.
man. Okay.
For the first time, I saw more heart in Curry than in LeBron.
I'm not going to say more heart. I will say more energy because LeBron James
That's
is an
hard.
old man. The old man
in
who
sports
led the
basically
league. He
turns
led
into
the league
energy.
in minutes played for most of the season,
This
which
guy.
was unnecessary. He's going to wear down. He's a human. He might be one of the most impressive physical specimens we've seen. But anybody's going to wear down.
I think that this is what we're getting to here. This is a conversation that I have with Josh. Give Jaron Glover, another Ricardo Report member, a shout out out there as well, because we have these conversations with them as well. People like Josh. Okay, millennials. People like Josh.
Oh my goodness.
Get obsessed with numbers. So T, when you say that LeBron, you didn't see from him what you want, Josh says, yeah, but look at his stat line.
Right, right.
Not how hard did he play. Not how hard he went
What
out.
do you
Look at
mean?
his
He was spent out. Okay, that man had
Stats
no
do not tell
energy
the whole story.
left.
Come on, man.
You can't say question his heart when he goes out there, has the game that he had. He's fighting for his team's life. He knows that right now. This is his legacy up for grabs because
you know what? You bring up a good point. Let's
Is it?
So one of the debates I've been having on Twitter recently with a lot of the younger kids, they keep on saying LeBron is the GOAT. LeBron James has the potential to be the greatest of all time, but it's still the man who's on my tank top right now, Michael Jordan, who
LeBron
is the
will
greatest
never
of all
be the
time.
greatest of all
Oh
time.
no, it's unlikely.
Never.
He's got to win like 4 more titles for it to happen.
You gotta pass
No, you
Kobe
don't
first.
understand. It's not even about that.
Okay,
Being the greatest of all time has nothing to do with
you can't
stats
talk
anymore.
the whole time, T.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being the greatest of all time doesn't have to do with stats anymore. See, records in sports are always fleeting. Every new generation would break a previous record.
There we go.
So you're saying we're going to see
Michael
another player
Jordan's
make
talent
it
and skill is unbeatable.
Okay, but
regardless of how many decades we travel through.
I'm not denying that, and his
Yeah.
cultural impact on the sport of basketball is going to be unparalleled. Okay, I don't think there's another analogy. Maybe you could say Tom Brady if he played in the '60s and did what he's doing today for the NFL. But that's getting into hypotheticals.
Tom Brady's not that great.
So, you know,
I wouldn't.
that's actually a perfect segue that we have right here. So, as we talk about LeBron, because LeBron's legacy is probably the most highly debated thing in sports in this generation right here.
Absolutely.
So, can you be considered the greatest of all time if you don't have the titles. If your rings don't line up, let's say that LeBron loses this year, and then what will that make him, 3 and 5? Which you still give him all the credit. I think if he loses this year, that'll make him 3 and 5.
Yeah.
So if he ends up 3 and 5, 3 and 6, 3 and 7, but averages a triple-double for his career numbers, can you be considered the greatest if you don't have the titles on your resume?
And that is why I qualified it saying he needed to win maybe like 4 more titles. He's still got to pass Michael when it comes to rings.
Bro, you do know that people don't win 4 in their whole career. So why are you even putting him in the conversation if he still has to win 4 more?
Because when you look at longevity of production, it's him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe Karl Malone, and that's the only guys who have done it this sustained, this long, this continuous. Because let's give Michael Jordan credit. He was the greatest, but he did take 2 years off during the middle of his prime.
What does that have to do? You know what, Evan? My gosh, Evan.
All I'm saying is he isn't the greatest yet. He has a chance. It's an outside chance. But right now he's the Dan Marino. He's got the stats that make him look like one of the all-time greats, but he doesn't necessarily have the rings to back it up.
Dan Marino's not even in the top 5 conversation of best coaches. Evan, you were speaking about Kobe Bean Bryant in this conversation.
You know what? Let's let the ambassadors of Kobe stand for a moment.
Kobe has that killer mentality. He also has 5 rings. Granted, he did play with the most dominant player when he was playing with Shaq, but he also did win 2 rings on his own.
2 and 1. 2 and 1 without Shaq.
Right.
He had Pau Gasol there. He had Lamar Odom, the greatest 6th man of all time before the Kardashians ruined him.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The greatest 6th man of all time.
Stay away from the Kardashians.
It's so debatable, but when it comes back to the topic of do you need to win crowns to be the greatest, yes, you do need to win. Now, the number of crowns to me doesn't necessarily, go in relation to you being the greatest. So my thing is,
because you don't consider Tom Brady the greatest.
I don't.
Okay,
I don't. But let's say LeBron goes in and wins.
Right.
Just about enough, or even more than Michael, or whatever.
Correct.
Michael Jordan defined the game.
Yes.
That's what makes him the greatest.
So
Tiger Woods defined the game.
Now you're talking about
Charles Barkley has no rings.
Okay.
But still a great player.
Okay, but would you say he's a greater player than LeBron James?
Who? Michael Jordan?
No, not Michael.
Who?
Charles Barkley. Okay, yeah, so rings do have a lot to do with that conversation.
Yes, they do, but they don't define the entirety of it.
You know, I think we were speaking a little bit, and our 24-second clock is running down here, but we were talking a little bit about this before the show began, and we spoke about the fact that LeBron James, I'll say it into the camera, hands down the most talented basketball player practically to ever play the game. But there's a lot more that goes into greatness than just talent alone.
Yes.
You got to bring in leadership. You got to bring in intangibles. You got to ask me, when the game's on the line, whose hands do you want the ball in? Josh Eloy, I can give you 5, 6, 7 guys that I want the ball in before LeBron James.
Is Steve Kerr one of them?
We'll talk about more of this.
And speaking of Tom Brady, I hate to, Tom Brady had a great Super Bowl last season, all right? That was great, but not the greatest.
Wow.
Of all
Champions.
time. Yeah.
We might not be able to settle this here, but we're going to bring a couple of champions onto the set. The Wilson Tigers are in the house. We'll ask their idea about greatness. It's the Ricardo Report on DKN Sports. And we're back. That was definitely a heated debate. Want to give a huge shout out to Josh Eloy as well as Evan Brooks as we talk NBA. All of our student athletes out there, want to let you know about a couple of camps that are coming up. The Crab Bowl camp, that's going down June the 29th at Georgetown Prep Academy, as well as the FBU Championship camp. That's going to be on June 17th and 18th. It's now to open up the show, though, because joining me finally, the lovely Miss Sierra Bree. Sierra, I missed you. Josh was here, and it almost drove me nuts.
I missed you, too. I'm so glad I could be on this.
I'm happy. T. Forrest is happy as well. He, of course, is in the house.
Yes.
But you two help me in welcoming special guests. The Wilson Tigers are in the house. Coach TC, Miss Tia Clemens, that is Coach of the Year. That's what we that's what we did.
Wilson.
Breeze, tell them about it.
Coach of the Year at Wilson, Coach of the Season at Wilson.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
That's
That's,
awesome.
amazing.
Absolutely
Thank you.
awesome.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And joining you, Mr. Dominic Hogans. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you all very much
Thank
for
you
stopping
for being
by the
here.
Ricardo Report. Are you all ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I know you guys, Coach of the Year, obviously you guys had an amazing season.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that. But as you heard, he talked about Josh.
Right.
I'm really just curious right now because my mind is going off.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Does greatness, does the victory of crowns define greatness in sports?
Because you all just won crowns. I mean, you're
Yeah.
first in girls, first in boys. You all are
Right.
champions. We can
Yeah.
ask you about this.
Does that directly define greatness in the game, in the sport?
I don't think that it directly defines greatness in the sport. It's nice because it's a product, but it's a byproduct of all the hard work that we put in. So all the dedication, the time, the energy, the effort that all the student athletes and the coaches have put into every single one of our athletes and then into ourselves because
Okay.
we have high expectations for ourselves and the student athletes.
Dominic, for you, student athlete, that's coach's answer. Can you be great without winning titles? Can you put up all the stats in the world, not actually get the medals, and be great?
I definitely do believe that you can be great without a title.
Okay.
I mean, the Wilson boys have done that for a while. We had a bunch of great runners,
Okay.
like through the years, I guess, for a long time, but just like never had a state championship.
Let me ask you this: would you rather have all of those great runners that you had who put up numbers, or that
Or a state championship?
that state championship that you just walked away with? Huh? Uh-oh.
In the end, I would still say great runners.
Okay.
Because, like, yes, you can have a title, like, for the whole team, but then when it comes down to, like, every detail, you're going to need great runners in the end.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
off the camera, we're going to have to get more into this, brother. Me and you, we are going to
add
talk
to
about
that?
this all day. Go ahead.
I would like to add to that because, like I said, it's really great to walk home with the victory and the trophy. But in our organization, we
Correct.
really want to develop good people. So if outside of track and
Character.
field, big time character. And so just helping them to understand that we want them to be great people in life and, you know, work hard for everything that you do. So sometimes, you know, you might not have the shiny trophy as a
Correct.
team, but individually we have a bunch of shining stars.
You know, that was such a lovely
That was
answer.
beautiful.
Reminded me that we're talking about student athletes right now and
Absolutely.
not just wins and
winning.
losses.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
But speaking of winning,
As we get
What
back
should
to
we love to
Right.
do?
exactly, it's nice. So the girls won in the DCSA, the indoor and outdoor.
Yes.
And the boys came in second in indoor and came in first in outdoor.
Yes.
What is the key to your success? What do you guys do to get these
What are y'all
wins?
doing over there
Yeah,
at Wilson?
exactly.
Well, first we're working hard. So we, you know, we really just want to instill that you have to be dedicated to your sport and to yourself and to your team. So helping them to understand a little bit more, like you need to really be a model, you know, for the underclassmen and then also for other student athletes in the building and in DC in general. Part of the key, I think, is changing the mindset a little bit because sometimes they kind of get, you know, they're hard on themselves,
Correct.
Right.
and then they also feel like they want to place the blame. And then as coaches, we also have to go back to the drawing board and see where we messed up or, you know, any of our errors. And
Where
then
you
we
can
kind
improve.
of, absolutely. It's always about improving. It's always about them understanding that we care about them and ultimately we want the best for them and for our team. But setting high expectations is part of the key to success because
Right.
if we don't have high expectations set for them, then they'll settle for anything.
Absolutely.
And we don't want them to settle for anything.
not mediocre.
And that's
They're better.
absolutely.
They're
And so
better.
although we have been the bridesmaids for quite a while on the boys team, I think with the core that we had this year, they all really worked hard and we had one goal. So it was one team, one dream, and the
love
victory
it.
was ours.
One
so.
team, one
One team, one dream.
That's our motto here at the Ricardo, or at least it is after
It
this
is
show
now.
starting right
It
now.
is now.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I loved it. Dominic, just kind of to that point, from being the bridesmaid proverbially for all of this time, what did you all have to do to get over the hump to go from that second place onto that first place?
The biggest thing I would say was like pushing each other.
Correct.
Like it came to the point like in track workouts, I guess like you might stop on the first one or like stop on the last two and not do the last two. But it just came to integrity and just pushing each other. You got to keep on pushing and pushing. And Dunham and Coach TC are probably like the best coaches that I've ever had in track ever. Like they really push us. They push you and push you and push you, and got to the point where we were hungry. We were hungry for a state championship. We never won it before, and this time we went and got it. So
feels good.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Feels good. I like it a lot. I want to ask you all about an individual that is not here with us here today. That's Alicia. Help me with her last name.
Dawson.
Alicia Dalton. Phenomenal student athlete. She's just a sophomore.
She's a sophomore.
She was the female student athlete of the state district outdoor, right? Was she that in indoor as well?
Yeah, she was that in indoor and in the cities as well.
Talk to me about her potential. How great can she be?
Well, we know she has the potential, clearly.
Right.
She's definitely a rising star in our program, and it's really nice to see her seeing so much success right now, but also understanding that she has to put the work in. Because as a freshman, she didn't see as much success, but she held to it. She came out during cross-country season and started to get her base down early on, so we can actually start working the magic a little bit sooner.
Now, for somebody like Alicia right there, she's great, right? And to other athletes, student athletes that are just, as great or have potential to be great, what do you think they need to avoid in order to make sure that they actually get to that top, that peak?
Well, as you know, teenagers now have a lot of distractions. So it's really important, and I do this with my student athletes, is for them to set goals for themselves at the very beginning, not once the season starts, but before the season starts. And sometimes even now at this point. So today we are going to have our banquet once we leave here, and they'll start to think about next year, and they'll think about the summer, what's the training going to look like over the summer. Of course, they're going to take a break, but really dedicating themselves to the sport and to, being successful and seeing success for themselves.
And as a mom, you have a son, right? What's his name?
I do. My son's name is Tristan.
Tristan.
And I try to instill the same things in him. Of course, just being dedicated and, sticking to something that you've signed up for. So.
Awesome. Coach TC, you were absolutely awesome. Come on, we'll take that handshake.
Yes, absolutely.
Look, we're going to talk more about this off camera. We'll pass the baton. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
We'll get it over. Isaac Frumpkin, Quinn Wright is joining the show next.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all
This
so
is the
much for
Ricardo
having us.
Report.
Okay.
And we're back. Definitely want to give a huge shout out to Coach TC as well as Dominic Hogans, who are in the building representing the Wilson Tigers. Also T. Forrest. Of course, you can find him here at the Ricardo Report every week. It's time, though, to honor a student. This is the DCSAA Student Athlete of the Week. This week's Student Athlete of the Week is none other than my main man, Isaac Frumpkin of Wilson. He's the winner of the 800 gold medal, and he did it while setting a state track record. What I love about him most, though, is his leadership abilities. And with that said, I would like to welcome Isaac Frumpkin to the show. Isaac, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And with you, we got the lovely Miss Quinn. Quinn, how are you today as well?
I'm great today. How are you?
I thank you for coming by.
No problem.
And much to you all's chagrin, Joshy Laurie is back on set as well. Shucks. It couldn't be all good coming on.
You wouldn't have me here if you didn't love me.
Oh.
All right, now, Isaac and Quinn, obviously, we've been talking about it all show. Leadership is paramount to champions. So I really want to know, who's the heart and soul of your Wilson track team?
I mean, I think the key to our success was that we had a lot of different leaders step up throughout the season and take on different leadership roles and connecting, because with a track team, you have different facets of the team. You have distance runners, sprinters, and sometimes you don't practice together, so you need leaders in different positions.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not like a football, it's kind of like a football team where you've got different position groups, so you've got maybe a leader for the quarterback, so a leader for the sprinters, a leader for the high jumpers, something like that. Okay, and now we know that one of the hardest things to do in sports is to go back to back. I mean, we've seen it in all sports. Hasn't happened in the NFL for a while. You got to go back to 2000 with the Chad's Lakers.
You doggone right. Champions.
To go back to the last time you saw somebody go back-to-back in the NBA. So what I want to know is what steps are you guys taking this offseason, and who are you going to rely on to defend your titles?
Quinn, you'll still be around. Like, Isaac's leaving, you know?
I'm a junior too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Me and
Sometimes
Isaac
I'm
have been
wrong,
running
too.
together since we were 4.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Really? That is amazing.
Yeah,
So
we
you
went
all
to
have a ton
elementary
of
school
camaraderie.
together. Yeah.
That's excellent.
That's amazing. That's family.
So from to Josh's perspective, what's it going to take, and who are you all relying on to kind of lead you all back to the accomplishments that you made? Tremendous season. Tremendous season.
I mean,
that you
Chad
all
and
had.
I were there. We saw you guys pull away from the pack towards the end of that track meet and really solidify yourselves as the champions.
I mean, I think really the cycle just starts all over again. We're gonna have, a few weeks to, decompress and give our bodies time to recover, and then it's back at it. Summer training, we're trying to build a base, get in some mileage over the summer, and then fall, we start to split up a little bit. The longer distance people will do cross country, sprinters will do more long distance training, and then we're back to indoor season, go out to chase another championship, and then to outdoor season, chase another championship. And I mean, it sounds simple, but it is kind of daunting that we're going to be working the whole year. But we love to do it. That's why we do it.
And Quinn, do you go into next season feeling any pressure on you at all? Because now you all have that target on your back. Do you feel any pressure from that?
Definitely. I'm going to be one of the oldest girls on the team.
Right.
I'm going to be the only junior sprinter.
Really?
So I feel a lot of pressure, but it's pressure I'm willing to take. It's pressure I've been, ready for since freshman year, taking on sprints and just taking on the team overall, and I'm actually really excited.
As we go back to LeBron James as being someone who may not always deal well with this, how will you overcome that pressure?
You get to be compared to LeBron James.
Right here on the Ricardo Report.
Not my favorite.
It's no one's favorite.
My team, I put a lot of pressure on myself, but my team, they help build me up. When I get down, they're gonna be there for me. I'm not gonna, all the pressure is not gonna be on me. There are people in the background, helping us get better. Yeah.
I like that. So the team family atmosphere.
Right,
will really
it's just
bring
like
that
the
together.
camera crew, there's people in the background that help put the whole thing together.
I'll see what you did right there. That's awesome.
People.
That's beautiful.
And so most great teams have that family vibe.
Right.
Do you guys have that family vibe?
Oh,
And if
do
so,
we have a
how does it
family
work?
vibe?
How does it go?
Yeah, no doubt. Throughout the year, we've just gotten closer and closer. I mean, I think track is one of the most optimal sports for that because you push your body to its limits, and to be able to do with other people that are doing the same thing, that no one else can really relate to that feeling of you, being dead after practice or, hitting the wall in a race. And so it gives you, people that you can relate to.
You can talk to you about it.
Exactly.
And Quinn was mentioning to me offset that you guys even mix it up in the group meet sometimes too, like a family.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. We have sleepovers like a family. We spend a lot of time off the track as a family. Like I said in one of my speeches, not only are they my teammates, but they are my brothers and sisters.
Wow,
We,
that's a
we
bond.
argue, we bond just like brothers and sisters.
And so is that going to be kind of the basis as you all bring it back? You're going to work hard over the summer. You're going to be together on that, and then it's going to come out. And then next year during the indoor, what can we anticipate from the boys and what can we anticipate from the girls?
Well,
right here on the Ricardo Report.
I think
call their shot?
I want to say two things. We're going for the repeat, but also
Gonzaga's watching.
yeah, but also I think because of the great coaching we have with Coach TC and Coach Dunham and the leadership we have, I think in the coming years we'll actually start to see a track dynasty at Wilson High School.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
And
that.
I know some boys over at Archbishop Carroll and some young ladies too will have something to say about that as well.
There we go. Well, we will see you all at the DCSAA Indoor Finals. Thank you all
we'll
very
see you there.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, you have been absolutely wonderful. Isaac, Quinn, on behalf of Coach TC, on behalf of my main man Dominic, from the Ricardo Report, we got T. Forrest, Evan Brooks, Joshie Laurie, the lovely Miss Sierra Breeze. I am Chad Ricardo. Thank you, and you, for staying tuned with us.